All right, so I have one other question that I know buyers are continually asking me. They don't want to purchase right now because of how high the interest rate is. So I know one thing you had mentioned, you really need to have a good relationship with your lender. Can you kind of talk about that and why, even though interest rate is high right now,
Right.
it's still a good time, or higher than it was in January, it's still a good time to buy?
It's sort of like what we said, like kind of know your numbers a little bit. So I'll give you kind of a rough example. So, for example, let's just say you had a house that, in January of this year would have sold for, say, 740, right? I'm not saying this is always the case, but it's looking pretty good every single month that goes by with the interest rates where they're at. Let's say I can get it now for, 620, 630 sort of thing. And then I'll talk to my lender and we'll do up some numbers. At the 3.5% interest rate, at the seven something, what would that be? And then, the six something, what would that be at, say, 6.75, whatever the current market rate is right now, the interest rate. And we kind of look at the difference on that. But then we also look at, well, the things that we can get now as a buyer that we couldn't get before. Some of those other costs and other repairs and all
Yeah.
that money. But then you bring your relationship in either with the buyer CPA, or if they don't have a CPA, and have a relationship with really good solid CPAs that know their stuff. You bring them in and say, okay, well, tell me what's the benefit to the buyer. They're renting now, and now if they own this home, what the benefits tax wise at the end of the year would that do? And so you take all those numbers into consideration, and then you divide it down to 12, so where you look at their monthly outgo, and then the payment is the same, if not better. So you got to look at all of the numbers that are and give that to your buyer, and that way they can make the correct decision.
Yeah, you don't just want to look at interest rate. And like my father had said before, you wanna, what was it again? You marry the,
Marry the house, not
not
the
the
rate.
not the rate. So
Okay.
you got to take all of those costs into consideration, not just the interest rate, and see if you are really spending more money monthly than you would if you were to purchase. Renting versus purchasing. So that's perfect. Thanks, Dad.